You kicked out your friend because her baby was crying? And you feel good about that? I don't know. I'm already casting judgments. I haven't even heard the story yet. I guess we'll see, but I think I already know what I'm gonna say. Happy apple picking day! I literally bought this sweater for Bad Apple, and I actually kind of hate it. I think this might be going back. I don't like this as much as I thought I was going to. Oh my god, I think this is awful. It's fine. A couple reminders for any of our new friends. If you want to transfer your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And as a reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is that we've all lived different lives and have different experiences. And those experiences are going to shape how we internalize situations, the details that we get stuck on, our thoughts and our boundary levels. You're never going to find someone who matches you exactly in those regards. We just keep that in our thoughts as we converse and discuss with people down in the comments. And just remember, just because you share your opinion and someone doesn't agree with you, doesn't mean that they're shaming you for your opinion. It doesn't mean that they are yelling at you. They just don't agree. Do you know how many people I've seen, like specifically in my Facebook comment section, that are like, I've told you had a bad take and you told me I didn't change your mind, and so I've decided you shamed me for that. No. The only time I've ever shamed someone's opinions is if it's like a bigot opinion that is offensive. That's it. So if you're like feeling attacked by someone who's just saying, no, I don't agree, maybe you should look deeper into that. And I'm talking about like dumb things. Like if I have a different boundary level than someone, you're not gonna shame me into changing my boundaries because you have different ones. That's dumb. But without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking. Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for telling my kid's mom that her husband can't have my kids while she's deployed? I, 36 male, have 2 kids with my ex, 9 and 11. We've been divorced for 3+ years and she remarried about 2 years ago. We have legit 50-50 custody and split everything down the middle pretty well. We've built a good routine for co-parenting, and things have been smooth for the last few years without any hostility. If ever a time in the past where she had to leave for work, she would ask me to watch them full-time in her absence, which I always do, happily. A few weeks ago, she found out she's deploying for 6 months overseas and asked, while she was gone, could her husband keep the same routine, 50-50? I said no, and that I assumed I would have full responsibility of them. This upset them. It's been a huge discussion ever since. She says I'm not thinking about the kids, their stability, their happiness. I argue that I disagree, and that what parent wouldn't want the opportunity to have them full-time again, even if it's temporary? I try to explain that just because they're with me, that I won't cut them out of their lives completely. They still don't want to hear it. The husband tries to make demands, and every solution I've come up with doesn't work for him, and clearly I'm the bad guy. I want to add that our custody agreement even states that I get them if she's deployed, and we live in California. So even though I don't think I'm wrong here, am I the bad apple? Ooh, I know there's gonna be some mixed opinions on this. And I don't know. Some of y'all won't like mine. I think there's like a difference between like the legal question of am I wrong for this and like the moral question. Like legally, there's no question. Obviously, legally, the law's on your side. These are your kids. If it's in the custody agreement, it's in the custody agreement. Like contractually, yeah, you're in the clear. But I don't feel like I can fully go good apple. And the reason is because I hear, oh, well, they think I'm the bad guy. Who is they? What are the kids' opinion in all this? Because at the end of the day, this is their family time too. Like this is how they're gonna be spending the next 6 months of their lives. Do they want, I know you said, well, I'm not gonna cut them out completely, but let's be honest, they will most likely go weeks without seeing their stepfather, without having their things that are at those houses, without being in those spaces. Is that something that the kids are on board with? Is that something that the kids' opinions on the matter have been discussed at all? Like, I just hear you saying, oh, well, what parent wouldn't want full time with their kids? Well, of course, yeah, any parent, any good parent would, right? But I feel like anytime there's like custody things, if you don't include the kids in those conversations, like you can't be the good apple. And like, let me be clear, if there's like an issue where like there's adult things that you can't talk to the kids about, like, hey, there's a safety concern or there's a substance abuse issue and there's something going on that the kids shouldn't or just aren't gonna know about, that's a different story, okay? Like, I know there's gonna be someone that tries to twist it and like, well, not everything the kids need, but like, this is a situation where they co-parent very well, they get along very well, they integrate into their lives seamlessly between the houses, between the families. Why would you not discuss with the kids what they want to do? Like, structure for kids is important. Routine can be very important. This is something that's going to completely disrupt the routine for 6 months. I feel like hearing what they want to do is important. And I also feel like as a parent, being open to what would make them most comfortable is important for any good parent, right? Because it's not just a, well, what do you want to do that's the most fun? Like, this is also their family that they're used to seeing 50% of the time, that if they're with you will most likely go down to like 10, 15, maybe 20, maybe, but like not very often. And I think that thinking that's not going to impact them is very close-minded. Like, yes, these are your kids and you love them. And no, their stepfather is not their father, but that is still their family. And I think that, yes, it's not fun to think that, oh, well, they want to go and see their stepfather, but I think that it's worth a question to them. It's worth asking. The fact that it hasn't even been addressed of, well, if the kids say they want to keep something more like how it is, I'm willing to hear them out. I think that all too often when it comes to custody agreements, people often go for the, well, my ex, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's the kid's time. It's the kid's development. It's the kid's routine. It's the kid's structure. It's the environment that the kids are in. Yes, any parent, any good parent wants their kids to be with them as much as possible. And any good parent thinks that the best thing for them is with them. But I think it's also very naive to think that, I see a situation where a kid wonders, why is my stepfather not coming to see me? Does he not miss me? Does he not love me? And I know there are going to be some people that are like, it doesn't matter, that's not his father. But it's not always about the parents' feelings. It's not always about, like, this is a very good co-parenting blended family situation. And I love those. I love seeing those. And I would just hate to see something messed up because the kids' thoughts weren't even considered. You know what I mean? Like, what could this turn into? And like, let's be honest, the stepfather's really gonna be the closest thing that the kids have to their mother in a long time, right? Like, of course, the dad with their what seemingly good relationship is not gonna constantly be like, it's not gonna be bashing the mom, but it's not gonna be the same as the mom's partner reminding the kids, hey, your mom misses you. I know she can't wait to get back to you. Like, it's different. And I'm not saying, I wanna be clear, because I know that there's gonna be some people in the comments that are in a co-parenting relationship that are like, the stepdad has no rights. No, he doesn't. This isn't about the stepdad. This is about the kids who are about to lose their mother for 6 months. How do we best support them and keep their lives from imploding while their mom is gone for 6 months serving the country? What's best for those kids? What's best to preserve the co-parenting atmosphere, the blended family atmosphere that we have right now? And I think that setting your ego aside as a parent and really taking a look at what are your kids comfortable with? What are they going to need emotionally? And it's not, that could be staying with the dad. I don't know. I don't like how the kids aren't even brought into the conversation. They're not even heard. That's what I don't like, and that's why I'm going crabapple. Not bad apple, crabapple, because I think that the kids just need to be considered, personally, respectfully. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for leaving my toddler with my teenager? I, 38 female, am a stay-at-home mother until I start a new job in 2 weeks. I had a very rough night's sleep the other day and was exhausted. My 3-year-old daughter was asleep when I had to take my 7 and 8-year-old children to school, which is about a 20-minute drive. I informed my son that she was sleeping and left to drop them off at school. My 14-year-old son does have ADHD and autism, but he's high functioning. He's a straight A student. He's had bad behavior issues in the past, but he's been maturing a lot over the last few years. I totally trust him for short periods of time like this. Again, it's only 20 minutes. But I definitely don't think he's mature enough to watch the kids for longer time frames. I figured my son, at most, if my toddler woke up, would just sit with her for 10-15 minutes, but she stayed asleep the whole time. Their father, 44 male, is on an oil and gas project in another city. He sent me some texts that I didn't respond to because I was sleeping, so he checked the cameras and saw that I left our 3-year-old alone. He then accused me of child neglect, saying, "What if I got in a car accident?" I guess I saw his point and assured him I wouldn't do it again, but I still don't see it as neglect because I didn't leave her alone. Well, now he says he can't trust me anymore. So this morning, the day after the incident, I sent him a picture of all 3 kids in the car to show him that I wouldn't do it again. Well, he still got angry at me and it just restarted the whole fight. I don't understand. It's not like the teenager doesn't watch over our 7-year-old nonverbal autistic son while I bathe the other kids, and he's fine with that, but he just argues it's because I'm in the other room. I hate to even think like this, but my 14-year-old is from a previous relationship. That's not his kid, and I don't want to think that has anything to do with it, but am I the bad apple? Okay, this is gonna be really hard because I don't know like where on the spectrum the 14-year-old is, because as we all know, like autism is a spectrum. And I know she says high functioning, which I hear isn't a term that people use anymore. I just don't remember what this a substitute would be, or a better way to phrase it. This is just the phrase that she used. I am not a professional when it comes to disabilities, special needs children, things like that. Autism, not a professional. But I feel like husband's overreacting, yeah. And maybe some superhero parents out there who have autistic children can definitely take the lead on these discussions down in the comments, because y'all, or even professionals who study autism and help kids with disabilities on a more regular basis, y'all in the comments all take the lead on this. Because there's probably so many things that I don't know. I feel like if this is a student who is in regular gen ed classrooms and is getting straight A's, they are functional enough to be able to watch a sibling for 10 minutes. And like, let's be honest for a second. You said he had bad behaviors years ago and he's been maturing. What 10, 11, 12-year-old boy doesn't have behaviors that they have to mature out of a bit? Like, I feel like that's a very typical boy mom experience, and I don't think something that you should be demonizing yourself or the son for. Not that I think that you are, but I think that I personally think that you're letting dad gaslight you a little bit about that, and I could be wrong. You know, as a teacher, I had plenty of kids who were on the spectrum who were perfectly fine for gen ed classroom settings, who absolutely, just like any boy, had some behaviors that they needed to grow out of a little bit, that I would totally see as functioning enough to be able to watch their sibling for 10 minutes. In the other room or not, I feel like if this is a child that you can put in charge of a non-verbal child for 30 minutes while you bathe the other kids, then yes, I would assume that they're able to do the same thing if you're driving down the street. And I also don't want to think about your son having a fit because it's not his child versus his children kind of situation. But that's like what my gut is telling me and the vibes that I'm getting. And again, I could just be uninformed. Again, I'm not an expert in the autism field or anything, or the disabilities field by any means. But that's totally what it feels like to me, which is so sad, because we just talked about like a really great co-parenting situation, and like this is now, it's different, but you know what I mean. It just breaks my heart a little bit when I see those things, because we all know it exists, right? And I don't want to be one to point the finger either, but that's the vibe that I'm getting, and I don't love that. I think like the biggest red flag to me that I get from this whole story is the fact that your husband was like, you left her alone? What if you got in a car accident? Well, are you saying that if she got in a car accident, you would rather the 3-year-old be in the car with her? That's a terrible thing to say. You're saying that it's better for the 3-year-old to be in the car that got in an accident than be with this child? I feel like that's so disrespectful to the 14-year-old. Personally, I actually think that's a really gross thing to say. About your stepchild? I don't like that. I don't like that at all, in the slightest bit. And I think that, like, personally, I also think well, I took a picture of all of us in the car to show them that we didn't do it. I think that was passive aggressive. Personally, I'm not gonna give you crabapple for it, even though I don't love it. Because, like, the question is, was I wrong for that? And it's like two different situations. You're not letting it go. So, like, I can see why it would start a fight, because that was passive aggressive. It just was. And he probably caught that and was like, you're not letting this go, which he was also wrong. Like, both of y'all are wrong for different things, but in regards to leaving your child, I don't think so personally. And I'll go good apple. But I'm totally open to my mind being changed by parents or professionals in the comments who have way more experience with these kinds of things. You know what I mean? So that's my vote. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for splurging on something my wife said no to? I, 38 male, and my wife, 35 female, we'll call her Kelly, have been together for 9 years. We have 2 kids. Recently, I've been getting into sim racing, mainly Assetto Corsa. And for context, I'm a long-distance trucker working 50-plus hour weeks, making around $170K a year. I'm usually home on Sundays, but it's not always the case. When I'm home, I usually try to do something with the family, but since I found this new hobby, I've been spending more time there. Kelly has not liked it. Since I'm not home much, she wants to have family time, which is perfectly understandable. But I can't race while working, and I don't really have any time except for when I'm home to do that. Within the last year, she's wanted a hot tub and a new car, and I bought her both since money's not an issue and they would be nice. So about 2 weeks ago, I brought up the idea that since no one ever rides with me in my truck, I could install a sim ring in the passenger seat. I've seen it done before and thought it would be the best of both worlds, as I could race when I'm not driving, and then when I'm home, we could have that family time. She immediately shot down the idea, saying that it's just gonna be a huge waste of money. So without her knowing, I took off last Monday and Tuesday to have my friend who builds custom sim rings build one into my passenger seat. After everything was done and bought, the rig, the PC, the wheel, the shifter monitors, etc., it came out to be about $3,700, which is nothing compared to what went into her $5,000 hot tub and $39,000 car. Everything's collapsible, so I can still see while driving, and it's not a driving hazard, and it doesn't affect her at all. Well, when I came home this Sunday and she saw it, she went ballistic. She was cussing me out and left me to walk home because I parked my truck at the shop and Kelly comes to pick me up and drives me home. So after a 40-minute walk, I made it home to see that she took the kids to her mother's and wanted to talk about making smart financial decisions. This made me so mad because we have a large savings account and emergency fund, so what's wrong with me spending my hard-earned money to splurge on myself a little? She's a stay-at-home mom, and it's been that way since we met. I do all I can to make sure she has everything she needs and is happy, but I can't have a sim rig to relax and have some fun with the boys? Am I the bad apple? I need to look up what a sim rig is. One moment. I don't even know. Okay, it says that a sim rig, short for simulation rig, is a setup used for sim racing, a form of motorsport in a virtual environment that allows users to experience driving a car on a computer-generated track with specialized software and hardware. So it's like racing a car. It's like Fast and Furious online, yeah? It's like when you go to the arcade and you see the little Mario Kart, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's like the little Mario Kart thing at the arcade. Why can't you do this at home, like on a Wii or an Xbox or a PlayStation? I feel like that would be so much less expensive than $3,700 in your truck, yeah? Like, I'm so confused. Clearly, okay, I feel like I'm clearly missing something, clearly. And that's fine. It doesn't matter. What matters is, okay, I think that everybody kind of is a jerk here a little bit. I think I'm gonna go with Bad Batch for a couple reasons, okay? First of all, for you, you almost had me feel bad for you until you got to the end and you were like, well, I work hard and I do this and I do everything for her, and like, she's a stay-at-home mom and it's always been like that. I know you did not seriously just come here onto my channel and like, well, she's just a stay-at-home mom. Just a stay-at-home mom. I'm gonna be honest. I have a best friend, and I'm not even naming names because that's not the point here, but I have a best friend who is a stay-at-home mother whose spouse works every day. I mean every day. Like 6 days a week, sometimes 7. Same situation. And it's so hard. I don't know how she does it. I'm so in awe of her. She is such a superhero mom. I'm gonna cry because I'm just so proud of her. It's hard, and she loves it, and she loves her husband for providing. Like, he bought her a beautiful house and a beautiful car, and she's so thankful and appreciative of all he does to support their family. But she's by herself with these kids every day. Every day. That's hard. That is so much. That never a break. Like, when you're a stay-at-home mom, there's never an off switch, except for when they're sleeping sometimes and they wake up and it's all over again, and she has no help. She has no breaks. So don't go and tell me, well, she's just a stay-at-home mom and I give her everything she needs. Do you give her the support? Do you, like, the emotional support? Do you give her a break? Like, you're not home ever. You're gone. Like, you're trucking. So it's not even like you come home in the evening and let her, like, take a shower by herself. Like, she is the only parent most of the time. That's a lot. That's a lot on her mentally. She's probably losing her mind half the time. And of course, she loves it. She loves what she does, and she loves you, and she loves those kids. But she probably needs a break mentally. When's the last time you provided her that? Not only that, but I can see it paining her that, like, you're home once in a blue moon and you're not just so excited to spend it with her or the kids. Like, we had a story before where this military guy only got every other weekend off, and he also wanted to, like, spend it with his friends, and the girl was so upset that he didn't want to spend it all with her. And I honestly saw the guy's idea that, like, if he only gets so much time off, sometimes he wants to spend it with his friends. The difference is there were no kids involved. When you have kids, I'm sorry, but it's not just about what you want to do for fun anymore. I think it's really crappy that, like, I can see why she's so pissed that you only get a couple days a month to spend time with your children, and you'd rather be doing these video games. What? I can't even imagine how heartbreaking that would be and that would feel as a mother. So, like, yeah, I can see why she's pissed off about it. And the fact that you're gone all the time and then you take 2 days off, not to spend extra quality time with your children. Oh, hey, I've been doing a lot of sim racing things. Maybe I should take a day or two to XYZ. But to go and spend towards the hobby that's already taking you away from the kids that you don't ever get to see. I can see why she's pissed. Absolutely. I don't think she's really mad about the financial decisions. She's mad that this hobby, to you, in her eyes, is more important than spending time with your children. That's 100% what I see from her. And, like, it should be a thing for any married couple to discuss big purchases. Yes. So, like, yes, you got her the hot tub. That's something that you guys discussed and you were like, yeah, for sure. And then the car. Do you think that was a big favor to her? She's by herself with your children most of the month. Yes, she needs a good, reliable vehicle to do that. She needs to be able to not get stuck on the side of the road because you're in another state trucking. She needs to be able to get those kids from point A to point B safely and reliably. Don't give me crap that's a her purchase. That's a for both of you purchase. And to be completely honest, if she's got them all the time and she wants a hot tub to relax in because she doesn't have the emotional support from you, because you're gone all the time. I don't think the hot tub is the craziest purchase either. So for you to throw that in her face of, well, I got her those. Yeah, those are things that you guys agreed on, for sure. Now, I'm not saying I think your request was unreasonable. I'm saying that you can't throw it in her face of, well, I got these things for her, so I just went and got this for me. Well, you guys discussed and agreed on both of those things, and then you discussed and didn't agree on this. I think that being able to agree on big purchases for any marriage is important, and you didn't care about that. You cared about what you wanted to do, because it's both of your money. It's not your money, it's both of your money. Because you see, you wouldn't be able to go and make that money if she wasn't taking care of your children. It's a teamwork. So don't give me any of that, well, that's my hard-earned money. That's both of your hard-earned money. You're working hard trucking, and she's working hard keeping the kids safe and thriving so that you can do that. Let's get that straight. That doesn't mean that I think she's being unreasonable about saying no to your purchase. It means that I think it's wrong of you to discuss a big purchase, not be on the same page, and go and do it anyways. That's what I think is wrong. I'll be honest, I don't think she understands fully like what you're talking about in regards to the sim racing, because you didn't explain it well to us either. Like, I had to go Google that. I think she just here's this hobby that I care about more than my family, and I want to invest more into it. Like, I understand you're telling her, oh, this will be better because I can do it while I'm sitting overnight at the hotel, bored, not like waiting for a shipment or whatever, and then I won't have to do it when I come home. She just hears, hey, this hobby that takes me away from the family, the little bit of family time I get, I want to invest a bunch of thousands of dollars into it. I think that's what she's hearing. That doesn't mean that I think she's making the right choice. I still think that it's wrong for her to not be on board with that. Like, if this is truly a compromise that is going to give you some joy while you're working, like not while you're working, but you know what I mean, like in between while you're working, waiting around, and it's gonna provide you like your little, what's the dopamine rush, so that when you're home, you can spend it with family happily. Yeah, do whatever. I think she can't see over the fact that you were prioritizing the hobby over the family, and you made the wrong choice about just doing it anyways, calling it your hard-earned money. That's just I don't like any of that. So that's why I'm going bad batch, personally. That's what I'm doing. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for kicking my friend out of my birthday because her baby wouldn't stop crying? I, 27 female, recently threw a birthday party at my apartment. It was a pretty low-key gathering with only about 10 friends. There were lots of snacks, a couple drinks, and just a fun night hanging out. Everything was going fine until my friend Sarah, 28 female, showed up with her 7-month-old baby. Now, I love Sarah, okay? And I know she's a mom. But I wasn't expecting her to bring a baby to the party, especially since we planned to play games and drink and chat. The baby started crying almost immediately when they walked in, and Sarah tried to calm her down, but she was clearly struggling. At first, I thought it was just a momentary thing, but the crying continued for almost an hour, super loud and nonstop. It was hard to hear anything over the noise, and some of the other guests were getting visibly uncomfortable. I eventually pulled Sarah aside and asked, could she maybe step outside with the baby or take a break in the other room until the baby calmed down? I explained that it was just hard to enjoy the party with the crying. She was clearly upset and told me that I should be more understanding since she can't just leave the baby at home. She was doing her best to keep her calm. She ended up leaving shortly after, and now she's not speaking to me. I feel bad because I know that being a mom is hard, but it's my birthday, and I just wanted to have a good time without a crying baby. Some people think that it was rude that I asked her to leave, while others think that I was just trying to protect the vibe of the party. So, am I the bad apple? Ooh, okay, I think there's gonna be a lot of mixed opinions on this one, truly. And I think a lot of people are going to agree with me, and I think a lot of people are going to hate my decision. But I might go another bad batch, honestly. And here's my thought process. And just hear me out before you start freaking out in the comments. So for starters, let's start with Sarah, the mom. The reason that I'm including her in the bad batch is because if your baby's crying for an hour, something must be wrong, right? And like my brother used to cry for like really long periods of time when he was a baby. And for a while they couldn't figure out why, and it's because he was in pain. You know, he was sick, and there were things that it took a while to kind of figure out. But I feel like, you know, if your baby's crying for an hour, then your priority needs to be, okay, what's going on with my baby? What do they need? And if it's an hour plus and you can't figure out what's wrong, maybe that's time to go home. Not because, I'm not even saying because you're bothering anybody, I'm saying for the comfort of your child. I feel like letting them sit there uncomfortable for whatever reason, in whatever state, is just wrong. Like, you have them in a random environment with all these strangers and they're uncomfortable about something. That just doesn't feel like the kind of environment that you should want your baby in. You know, they're probably, who knows why they're crying, but on top of whatever reason that they're crying and that they're uncomfortable, scared, like I'm not a mom, I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but I just feel like maybe that's a little irresponsible to let your baby sit in that discomfort for over an hour. And maybe there's something that I'm missing. And if there is, let me know, because I'm totally willing to disclude her. Like, for Sarah, I'm giving like soft bad apple. I also think that with a newborn, because correct me if I'm wrong, like a 7-month-old is still a newborn, yeah? Like, that feels like a very short, like that's a very little baby. I can also see an hour passing and Sarah just being so exhausted that she doesn't even notice or realize. But she should realize that her baby's been in that discomfort for an hour. That's something that I think she needs to be aware of. So like for her, it's like kind of a soft bad apple. But I think OP is a bad apple too, like in the wrong. Like honestly, both of them, I would probably do crab apples. Should we? We don't really have an icon for like everybody's a crab apple. Maybe crab apple for everybody would, but no, there's so many. Do we want to add a whole other thing? I don't know, you guys tell me. Like in reality, I would go like everyone's a crab apple kind of thing. Like I don't think Sarah's doing anything intentionally, you know what I mean? Like she's trying to maintain friendships and trying to be around adult people, but like right now in this moment, her baby's paying the price and so are her friends. Like I can see she's trying to have the best of both worlds, and it's not working right now. The puzzle pieces are not lining up, and that's just sad. Like, I understand her frustration. And to be completely honest, if I was at a party and any of my friends who had children like was having some difficulty with their children, if the person who was having the party just took them aside and was like, can you get them to shut up? I probably would not speak to that birthday girl anymore. Personally, I would be so offended for my friend that was a mom. Because here's the thing, if you're saying like, oh, I had a small intimate party of my 10 closest friends, blah, 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 you understand like the big things going on with those 10 closest friends. And you understand that one of your friends just had a baby. And you should also understand that like most moms, it takes a while for those moms to be comfortable leaving their babies for however much amount of time. And I don't know when is a reasonable time to make those first few steps to like for being away from your child. I don't know when that usually happens. But I feel like a conversation is warranted when you first invite your friend, like, hey, I'm having a small thing for my birthday. Do you feel comfortable being away from your new baby for that long? Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer question to ask one of your best friends. I know that I would if my goal was to not have the baby around. Like, I personally wouldn't not want the baby around. Like, if one of my best friends has a baby, that baby's my niece or nephew, obviously. So I wouldn't have the intention of discluding the child. But if that's your intention when you're inviting them, hey, I want to do something for my birthday and I want to include you, Do you feel comfortable being away from your baby for this long, or is that something that you're not ready for? And that's totally okay if it's not. I just wanted you to still feel included. But if that's just not a step you're ready to take, then that's totally fine. Just let me know. That's a way to approach that. You didn't do that. I think it's a little weird to be surprised that she showed up with a 7-month-old, because let's be honest, I don't know her situation. Is their family around? Is a partner around? I don't know. But to think that a mom is gonna let a random babysitter watch her 7-month-old, that I think is pretty ignorant. That is weird. Like, no mom, no new mom especially, is going to do that. A 7-month-old? No, that's way too young to leave with a stranger. So I don't, oh, hi Milo. Hi baby, you coming to hang out? So I don't know why you're so surprised. Like, I didn't hear you say, well, why didn't the dad take it? Well, why didn't the mom, like her mom, take it? I just heard, well, I can't believe she brought the baby. What else did you want her to do? And like her response, well, I can't leave the baby at home. That tells me she has no one around that could help. So it is unreasonable, just so you're aware, it is unreasonable for anyone to leave a infant with a random stranger babysitter. That's not a normal, no one does that. No one calls the teenager down the street to watch a 7-month-old. Hi, Mr. Milo, are you coming to snuggle? You're just walking around. Okay, that's okay. So you get to the party, she brought the baby. Great, baby's crying. You have 10 women there. Does no one offer her help? Like, hey, can I get you something? Does the baby need something? What can I do? Like, I understand there's gonna be someone in the comments that's like, well, it's not their baby, it's not their responsibility. These are supposed to be friends. This is a small, intimate gathering of 10 people. These people should be relatively close, if not know each other. No one asked if she needed help. Like, to me, there's just red flags all around. And like, for your first time of you saying that you said something to her, to be like, your baby's harshing the mood of the party. Is no one worried about the baby? Like, I understand that different people have different priorities, and that's fine. And there's gonna be people who absolutely agree with OP and are like, it's her birthday, she should X, Y, Z. And that's fine, and that's okay for you to do that, but that's just not the kind of people that I associate with personally. My mom would be so appalled at me if I had people over, someone brought their baby because there was nowhere else for their baby to go, and then I actually like gave them crap for their baby crying. And like my biggest concern was, you threw off my groove. My mom would be like, who raised you? Can you not scratch my chair? Who raised you? Hey, can you not do that? You're gonna get your paw stuck and you're gonna ask me to get it to fix it, and then you're gonna go scratch my chair again. You gonna come up here? No? Okay. I understand there are gonna be people that agree with OP, and that's fine. We just have different priorities. I don't associate people who would have acted that way. And like, I'm not saying that after an hour being annoyed or upset isn't valid. I'm saying that within that hour, did no one, hey, are you good? Do you need anything? What's going on? Can we help? Is there something we can get you? And none of that was, I know some people go, well, you don't know that they didn't. Well, it doesn't say that they did. It just says that after an hour of people being uncomfortable, they asked her to step outside and leave. No one thought about, hey, do you need a minute, 5-10 minutes in? So, yeah, personally, like I can't imagine, even at my birthday, I can't imagine not caring about my friends enough to make sure that their crying baby was okay. You know what I mean? Like, that just, I don't like it. So that's why I'm going a soft bad batch. I would even be okay with like something regarding everyone being a crabapple kind of thing. More so for Sarah personally, than the others. The others, again, I can see people agreeing with OP. I can see people doing the same thing. That's just not the kind of friends that I have, or the kind of people that I associate with. So that's why I'm going what I'm going for them personally. But yeah, and you don't have to agree with me, and that's fine. That's how I am. All right, so I got 2 bad batches, a crab apple and a good apple, right? I think, let me check. Yep, that's what I got. At least those were my votes. Let me know if you got anything similar or different than me. And as always, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmItheBadApple. And for your well wishes today, my life, I'm getting back together. I'm getting my life. It's been a little bit of a crazy week, but I'm getting there. We'll probably play on the safe side and say most likely Wednesday. Meaning it is National Ferret Day. My cousin's gonna be so excited. She's got a lot of ferrets. National Walking Day. This actually would be a beautiful day to go out on a walk. At least where I live, the weather's very nice. And National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Also a very nice, tasty snack. Ooh, that does sound good. So let me know down in the comments which one you are celebrating. I'm at least definitely gonna go out on a walk. I don't know if I have jelly. I got peanut butter. So I think for me, it's gonna be the walking. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and hope to see you all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.